Ladies and gentlemen, ladies. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. I did. I hope my partner did as well. But welcome to the Playmakers Blog Podcast. This is your NFL edition. You know me, your host, down at the Playmakers Challenge. You know my co-host, Dallas Glenn. What's going on, my brother?
Nothing, man. Nothing. Just a lot of news to get to.
How was your Thanksgiving, by the way?
I work.
Traveling and working. Well, when it's all said and done, you'll be able to kick back and relax and say you did it the right way.
Yeah, I did it my way. All that good stuff.
But we have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Shocking news out of North Carolina. Dallas, you want to tell them what's going on?
Coach Ron Rivera, in a season where he lost his quarterback due to wear and tear, not even just injury, wear and tear. The same bad offensive line that wore down that quarterback, running a power spread offense with a receiving running back and a backup quarterback who we all forgot was on the team last year. We all thought he was a rookie when they said his name. Ron Rivera has been let go with 4 games left to go in the 2019 season in a predicament where you have to imagine they'll be in the sweet spot. They'll be in the sweet spot to improve that offensive line, to kind of sort of get some extra protection for Christian McCaffrey because that's his team now. They'll be in the sweet spot to maybe get another receiver to go besides DJ Moore. They'll be in the sweet spot to get some outside linebacker help, to get some younger D tackles, because let's be honest, you're firing Ron Rivera, Darnell, with Dontari Poe, Gerald McCoy, and a rookie Brian Burns as your defensive line. It's just, I can understand because of the collapses. You start off 5-2. Kyle Allen starts off like 5-0. It seems like, you're in a position where you're secure enough to put Cam Newton on IR, and you have a devastating season collapse again. But dude, you got to look at the situation for what it is. You have to look at the entire picture. You have to look at the game that basically did it, because a lot of coaches and a lot of organizations are going to be embarrassed losing to the Redskins this year. But Dwayne Haskins is a first-round pick. Dwayne Haskins has the support of his owner. The coach that didn't want him is fired. The coach that is interviewing for the job knows that the owner wants his quarterback. So you're losing to a guy who's getting back Darius Geis. You're losing to a guy that has Adrian Peterson still kicking out 500-plus yard seasons at his age. You're not losing to a team that's just, packing it up. All the teams that we thought were tanking have gotten to the point where they're safe. They're straight. Now they're trying to figure out what they have. You got Cincinnati putting their quarterback back in. You got Dwayne Haskins basically being the starter moving forward. You got Miami doing whatever the hell Miami's doing over there, Ryan Fitzpatrick. And I'm sure you'll give your take in a second. I just don't understand how, with all the mediocrity going on in the NFL, the Carolina Panthers are the one to fire their coach with 4 games left.
The Carolina Panthers fired Ron Rivera. By the way, who was over 500 as a head coach there over 8 years?
He made it to the Super Bowl. Yeah, 76 years.
But you lost to the Redskins. Matter of fact, I think you was up 14-0, and they came back and beat you.
In the NFL, a 14-point lead ain't that huge, but it kind of goes back to, the picture, the personnel picture. It's like, in the beginning of the season, Darnell, yeah, they're names. But in the beginning of the season, when you heard that Dontari Poe and Gerald McCoy were going to be the starting D tackles, what was your initial thought?
My mindset and thought didn't change by the Carolina Panthers defense.
Did you think Gerald McCoy and Dontari Poe were going to be able to take on a different role and at least be run stoppers?
There was already a run stopper team because, Luke Kuechly, when you have Luke Kuechly at middle linebacker, you are a run stopping defense anyway, no matter who's in the front of him.
Nah, not necessarily. When you're thinking those, like Dontari Poe is a nose tackle, But Gerald McCoy was never drafted to be a run stopper. And then you got to think age. Like, it's an entirely different mentality when you say, okay, my primary job is to stop the run in a defense, especially with the system the Carolina Panthers run. So it's like you're getting a former top flight nose tackle where his good years are pretty much behind him. And you're getting a future pass rushing nose tackle that is, it's weird because he said he had his son had a senior day, so it kind of threw me off. But I think Jerry McCoy's like, what, 34, 35?
Somewhere around there.
It's not, and I'm not saying this to say that, oh, their defensive tackles are the issue. What I'm saying is their two defensive tackles going into the season, when we talk about a head coach being fired, kind of highlights the fact that line in general was a fairly big issue. Both of them. The linebacking core. Luke Kuechly's been the anchor for a while. But I mean, remember way back when I asked the question, who's the number one receiver? Remember, Greg Olson's injury concerns, and we were wondering how he was going to be able to hold up a year older defensive backfield. Like, their starting 22 made us scratch our head. Now we're in this part of the season where people are hurt. People might not be panning out like you thought they would. Yeah, DJ Moore has been nice, but I mean, who are they throwing to?
I mean, Curtis Samuel, he's been scoring touchdowns, but he's been having a lot of yards.
Yeah, I think every team has that dude where it's like, oh, who are they throwing to? Oh, well, they got the one guy that, okay, well, yeah, when you're in the red zone and you only got to catch a 2-yard out or 5-yard fade, yeah. But, what about the other 95 yards before you get there? It's been DJ Moore and Christian. And then on top of that, DJ Moore has been doing really, really good. But, I mean,
they keying on him. He's been double team and triple team now.
Yeah, and that's the problem because the Carolina Panthers haven't had a true number one in a while. They drafted rookie number one. Everybody's rolling over the coverage his rookie year. He got a quarterback who was undrafted. We didn't know he was on the team last year. Now his number one receiver getting keyed over. Dude, you can't throw to a running back every play. Just the route tree. Christian McCaffrey can run every route in the route tree, but he's coming out the backfield. The best you're going to get is a 2-yard through-the-air pass and hope that Christian can run. I'm just looking at this situation, and it's like, we can't look at Pittsburgh. We can't look at Pittsburgh and think,
man, Mike Tomlin deserves Coach of the Year.
But we can't look at Mike Tomlin in the Pittsburgh situation and then start looking at our organizations and bro, what Mike Tomlin is doing is Belichick level. That is Belichick level. He is on his third quarterback in 1 year, and he's
fourth quarterback.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that is the preseason number 4. Old boy was the 4th string quarterback in the preseason.
Remember, y'all had to back up in that trade. Matter of fact, Josh Dawson's still on y'all roster.
Yeah, that's why I'm forgetting, because Josh Jobs hasn't played a snap, even in relief, even to kneel down. That's why I'm forgetting, because it's like Josh Jobs never played a snap, so that's why I'm forgetting that, Duck Hodges is the 4th string quarterback. What Mike Tomlin, and on top of that, Josh Jobs was drafted to be the next Byron Leftwich, the next Landry Jones. He was drafted to be the quarterback that had a lot of starting experience in college and a lot of promise, and just in case for a couple of games. But Darnell, that's the thing. What Mike Tomlin is doing, what the Rooney family is doing, what their GM is doing, what Pittsburgh as a franchise has been doing, we cannot look at that as the norm. What Pittsburgh and New England do, you can't look at your franchise and be like, it's an anomaly. It's like Apple. You're selling the same thing that everybody else is selling for 5 times as much, and people clamor, but that's an anomaly. You can't look at Ron Rivera. Look at that personnel. with the Saints and how Teddy Bridgewater did. They had a franchise quarterback as their backup quarterback. You had Kyle Allen. It's not the same. Now, I haven't really been paying attention to the Panthers, and you're not in their division either. I don't know the entire situation. All I know is that this guy's getting fired on Tuesday, the day off, after losing to the Redskins.
You know, should we be looking at another coach in that division to possibly get fired?
Quinn. Oh, dude, Quinn. I mean, and that's another thing too. That's what's tripping me out right now. If you do it after the season, you'll still get a side eye, but it's like, okay, you didn't win the Super Bowl you went to. You got there, but you didn't win. Then you need a new quarterback. You've had 2 season collapses. After the season, I get it. How the hell is Dan Quinn still in Atlanta, but Ron Rivera gets fired in the middle of the season? Like, what sense? What are you accomplishing by doing that? What are you accomplishing by telling your veterans the season's over? I don't understand how Dan Quinn gets to finish the season. And how all those boys get to have the same playbook, the same environment, the same work schedule, the same everything. And then you're just throwing this interim coach to a new situation. You're telling the veterans that, you know, at the age of 28, at the age of 29, at the age of 30 plus, this last month is a wash. I got kids. I got another contract. I'm only on a 1-year deal. New regime is coming in. I don't get why the Panthers, out of all the organizations that are eligible for this, are doing that. Especially
I'm gonna say this: the secondary coach, Perry Fidwell, that's what his name is. His first head coaching job is against the Atlanta Falcons down in Atlanta. Y'all can marinate on that while we switch gears here, because as we usually start off the show, Dallas gives us the state of the Jaguars, because more stuff don't happen with this team. Dallas, go ahead. It's your Jaguars.
I mean, we would have had a natural segue if we would have just naturally got to this topic, opening up the way that we did with Ron Rivera. Because, I mean, dude, like, the franchise, like, we all knew Nick Foles wasn't going to be the answer this season. The best way to have handled the situation, and this isn't hindsight being 2020 because everybody was basically saying this. The internal media was saying this. The fans were saying it. The national analysts were saying it. Dude, if Nick Foles was not 120%, if Nick Foles didn't have that dog in his eyes, he didn't have to come back this year. You could have saw what you had with Gardner Minshew. You were in a win-now year. He had us at 500. You could have sat Nick Foles and said, hey, we never had our quarterback. Save your job for another year. You end up having 2 first-round picks. Build around Nick Foles even more. You basically make it to where it's like, hey, okay, you got hurt. You never played a 16-game season, but we're going to act like this is an anomaly. No, you put Nick Foles back out. And it's weird because Golic Jr. admitted he didn't know the context of the situation. But he read off the box score and was like, after 2 games of these numbers, I don't really understand why you make that investment. And after 2 games, you sit him. And that's the problem with national media and the fact that nobody really pays attention to Jacksonville until it's a really dumpster fire situation. Because when you spend $88 million on the quarterback and got the performances you got, and I'll just say all 4 games because availability is the best ability. So what you got out of 4 games of Nick Foles for $88 million, there's no need to keep going. There's no need to forget the Blake Bortles experience. With that being said, if we were to cut Nick Foles, it's a $33+ million cap hit. Even if Gardner Minshew, which is not an if, it's an actuality, even if Gardner Minshew's cap hit is minuscule and you'll be able to build around a quarterback that is uber cheap, cheaper than Russell Wilson was, you're going to have a different head coach. You're going to have a different GM. We're hoping that we have a different vice president of football operations, but we don't know how Shad Khan's going to do this thing because Shad Khan has not done anything as a sports owner / executive to show us that the on-pitch or on-field things, he can learn how to do that. So he might trust somebody experienced to do that. But the season's a wrap. You're basically just trying to see what you have. You're basically just rattling off individual stats or whatever, because you've put yourself in a situation now where you're basically going to have a dude getting paid $20-something million to sit on the bench, because nobody's going to take a $33 million cap hit. You're going to have to trade a second. Everybody keeps throwing out third, like the Brock Osweiler deal. No, you're going to have to give a second, because at least Brock Osweiler had some snaps in him. He was terrible that Texans game, where he basically lost the Texans playoff game against the Patriots. The Texans could have blew out the Patriots if they had Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's how bad Brock Osweiler was. But even then, everybody knew Brock Osweiler had some quality snaps left in him. With Nick Foles, you don't know. Whenever Nick Foles is not in that dark green jersey, he is terrible.
Dang, the way you said that, I don't even know how to segue to a different topic on that one, because you just left it open. So many ways I can go. Well, you did bring up that dark green jersey, correct?
Yes.
Philadelphia. They don't want the division.
Nobody wants that division, except for maybe the Redskins.
Somehow the Redskins are still alive for the division. That's how bad the NFC East is. The NFC East is like the worst division in the goddamn NFL. And it has America's team in it, who shouldn't be America's team because they lost to America's team 2 weeks ago, who, by the way, lost to Houston on Sunday Night Football.
Also, I don't know if I want the state of Texas representing me. I don't know if I want that. Boston has its flaws, but I don't know if I want the state of Texas representing me as an American.
The Cowboys lost to Buffalo. Good pick by you, Dallas. That was terrible to sit there and just watch that. The door is open for you. All thing you got to do is beat a team who is supposed to be tanking for a quarterback. You had like a 20-0 lead or 14-0 lead, and they came back and beat you.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, man. People got to start respecting Ryan Fitzpatrick, because Ryan Fitzpatrick is doing things that we're asking first-round picks to do. Ryan Fitzpatrick is winning with a team that is – it could Tua, if he was healthy, do what Ryan Fitzpatrick is doing right now this year with the same roster?
Nah, because he'll be a rookie. Ryan Fitzpatrick got like how many years under his belt?
But that's the thing, though. Like we say what we say about Ryan Fitzpatrick, and we write off Ryan Fitzpatrick. But like out of all the quarterbacks,
the man is a Harvard graduate. The man is smart. The man is intelligent.
Dude, no, don't do that now. Don't do that now, because you, just like everybody else, were signing Ryan Fitzpatrick and saying the Dolphins are basically something like, dude, with this roster, if the Dolphins,
it wasn't about Ryan Fitzpatrick. Look at all the people they traded away. It's like y'all just traded.
But that's my point. That's my point.
To work with.
That's my point. Like the crapshoot that is the National Football League. The one constant you have is quarterbacks in the middle of the pack like Ryan Fitzpatrick. The way this season started, the multiple times he got benched, rookie head coach. If Ryan Fitzpatrick were to if they were to finish 5-11, if Ryan Fitzpatrick were to get this team to 5-11, because correct me if I'm wrong, Josh Rosen hasn't won a game this year.
Nope.
Dude, if Ryan Fitzpatrick gets 5 wins on that team in this particular quarterback draft, I'm not saying you pass up if you're, Cincinnati or whoever is there. You get your quarterback if he's there. But if you're a team that's going to be out the running, if you're a team that has so many needs, you might want to wait until Tua's healthy. You might want to wait for a stronger quarterback draft. You're talking about a 1-year, $15 million deal. $9 million guaranteed. Easy on the cap with some workout bonuses. That guy got 5 wins with that? Oh, bro. Some years you can't get that at Matt Stafford.
Dude, Lord have mercy. Philly. I got to go back to Philly because you said Nick Foles ain't been the same since he don't wear that dark green jersey, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with the Philadelphia Eagles? Why is this happening with Carson Wentz at quarterback?
I think that Carson is not, and I'm not being facetious when I say this. A Ryan Fitzpatrick, that archetype of quarterback, they're never gonna be the coolest. They're never gonna be on the cover of video games. But you're gonna turn around and you're gonna be like, how the hell are they doing that with that team? They're gonna be there. If Ryan Fitzpatrick was on the Eagles, they'd probably be around about in the same position because he would have Zach Ertz, a Pro Bowl tight end, an elite option. He would have a borderline, we thought so, but maybe it's just went scrambling too much. A borderline elite to elite offensive line. Like, find him a running back off the street.
Miles Sanders for the League. I'm not going to get
But no, what I mean, when you got Chris Carson in the 7th round up there in Seattle, if you get a quarterback where you know what you're going to get, he's going to be there 16 games. He's going to be a leader in the locker room. You're going to be able to put him in any offense. Dude, Ryan Fitzpatrick just went from a 4 vertical dirt cutter offense to the Patriots side adjustment offense in Miami back-to-back years. Like, Carson Wentz, you need to build an offense for him. You need to find weapons that can fit that offense. You need to understand that you're going to have to scheme a way for Zach Ertz to be open and be available because Carson Wentz is probably still a first-read quarterback. You're going to need a running game to help him and, in turn, help Zach Ertz get open because Zach Ertz is not a blocking tight end. Like, there's a lot of things you got to do to help Carson Wentz be great. He's not the quarterback you put out there in a 3 yards cloud of dust, 7-9 Seattle Seahawks team and win a playoff game by him doing his job, keeping the ship steady. He's not a Russell Wilson where whether you're relying on him or relying on the run game, he comes out, still leads the league in passing touchdowns. Like you need to do a lot. Doug Peterson has to do a lot. And I think the problem is you do all that and receivers are dropping passes. Well, it's the NFL, okay? Everything's not going to go perfect. Everything's not going to go great. Everybody's talking about Nick Foles won with that same personnel. Everybody's trying to throw up the amount of touchdown passes Carson Wentz has thrown in his first 52 games. It's just, when you look at Carson Wentz, you have the same conversations you have about Mitch Trubisky. You have the same conversations you have about Jameis. You have the same conversations you have about Blake. You have the same conversations you have about Marcus. Yeah, but we had a real good year, but he was about to be an MVP candidate, but he was second in the league, like, this is his show. Nobody, help is not on the way. You don't have to look over your shoulder. This is your team. And you have an elite number 1 option in Zach Ertz. You have an elite right tackle in Lane Johnson. You have the best center in the NFL. You have one of the best guards in the NFL. Everything can't be perfect. So sometimes you just have to think to yourself and be like, dang, like, I'll ask you this question, Darnell, to kind of sort of like increase the point. Who would you rather have, Zach Ertz or Allen Robinson?
Ertz.
Who would you rather have, Julian Edelman or Zach Ertz?
Ooh. I think I might take Edelman.
Okay. This is real easy. Who would you rather have, DJ Moore or Zach Ertz?
I'm taking Zach Ertz.
Okay, so we just did 4 teams where they really only have one elite or very good receiving option. Everybody else is going to be covered. Everybody else is going to drop passes. Everybody else is going to go the wrong way and look at you like, why did you throw it to me? You only got one real guy. You only got one real NFL receiver to throw to. Okay, well, Chicago's still in the hunt. New England is still leading the division. Out of all the coaching firings that will happen this year, Ron Rivera's will probably be the most confusing. And then you have Carson Wentz losing to the Dolphins with a 14-point lead. I mean, bro, like,
here's the funny thing, because somebody was talking about it on Facebook. The Cowboys beat the Lions, the Dolphins. Guess who the Eagles lost to? The Lions and the Dolphins.
And I mean, hey, you want to talk about, tell me who the elite receiving option is for Miami and Detroit.
Kenny Golladay for Detroit. Devontae Parker from Miami.
Okay. So between Edelman and Ertz, hell, maybe even Allen Robinson, I'm not taking either of those two. Devontae Parker is pretty good, but I'm not crying home if I have Zach Ertz and Ryan Fitzpatrick just beat me with Devontae Parker, Kevin Ballage, whoever the hell is blocking. Like, bro, like Ryan Fitzpatrick is a journeyman. If he goes 5-11 this season, he just had one of the best average. Archie Manning will look at Ryan Fitzpatrick this season if he wins 5 games and says, damn, you know, that guy might have been pretty good if somebody gave him a chance. Like, in that situation, bro, I'm sorry. I can't take pity. And I say all this to paint the picture for the point. They wasted money. And it's okay to admit that because we're in the media and we're fans and we're not the front office and we're not the owner and we're not the guys that just busted the cap paying for a guy that was an MVP candidate then got hurt right before a Super Bowl run. We're not the guys that paid a guy who came from the FCS level in a run-heavy offense and only started 2 years. Yeah, we're not those guys. We're not those guys that, like, you know, we've built the offensive line. We have the tight end, but we're building our defense around a 40-year-old safety that still gets elite ratings on Madden. Like,
So, yeah, then the NFC East is nowhere close to being finished. The Cowboys are 6-6. The Eagles are 5-7, and the Washington Redskins are 3-9, who somehow is still alive at 3-9.
I know the scenario, but nobody wants to hear it. So I read the scenario myself, and when I read it, I was like, oh, good God, that's not going to happen. But Jesus Christ, if it did.
Yeah, the Cowboys losing out. The Eagles only beating the Cowboys, and the Redskins winning out. The Redskins can win the damn division.
You can't have what's going on with Carson Wentz in Philadelphia and then turn around and finish 6-10 with a guy that's leading the NFL in passing yards. That can't happen in the same division. You can't have Dwayne Haskins throwing meatballs and just out there playing high school quarterback, don't lose us the game, freshman football. Dude, just imagine a scenario in the NFC East. Dak Prescott basically playing week to week on a 4th-round contract. Carson Wentz, everybody's trying to figure out how Nick Foles, who just got benched for a 6th-round pick, won with that same personnel and beat Tom Brady in a shootout. Dwayne Haskins, who only the owner really wants him, and he has no left tackle to protect him. And Daniel Jones, who, damn I say, New York might have actually ruined their season by playing the poor boy after all. Messing up Saquon's numbers. Eli, we done forgot about poor Eli. This might have actually helped Eli. Eli might go out of this season better than Nick Foles in Jacksonville. Because we don't forgot Eli, how bad Eli is compared to Daniel Jones. That's the state of that division right now. We don't even know who the hell the Cowboys quarterback is going to be next year. Because Jerry Jones is in a mood.
But he won't fire the head coach, so.
Well, hey. He's been kind of different. He's been kind of emotional these past 2 games, so I don't know. It's one of those things where I think this is going to be one of those years. Last year was kind of down as far as NFL free agency went. After Nick Foles happened, it was pretty much it. This year, though, especially with Ron Rivera, like if the Carolina Panthers can fire the best coach in franchise history, what do Atlanta, Jacksonville, Dallas, maybe Chicago, maybe Denver? What do these other teams have to wait for?
Shout out to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Maybe Zach Taylor.
There will be no team to go 0-16.
Pop the bubbly.
And the damn New York Jets.
Jets. Sad.
You know what? I'm going to go back. I'm going to watch it up because I want to hear what Mike Green had to say. Because the Jets was the team to give Cincinnati their first win.
You know, real quick right now, because it seems like this is an underlying theme of the episode. Adam Gase and Sam Darnold, both gone, one gone. New regime's going to draft a quarterback because they're going to be picking pretty high. Let's be honest. The Jets are picking pretty high. So, like, what happens there?
I don't even know. I don't even think Mike Greenberg knows. He's the biggest Jet fan in the damn world. He don't even know what their team going to do. Sam Darnold has potential, but is Adam Gase the coach to do it? That's the question.
Adam Gase is the one who you let have GM power for 2 weeks and damn near traded Le'Veon Bell.
I almost traded him back to Pittsburgh.
Like, this season, Le'Veon Bell has 55 catches and 589 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Don't know the receiving numbers off for it. But, I mean, dude, like...
Let me ask this question real quick so the people that can ponder on this. Imagine if Adam Gase would have pulled the trigger on Le'Veon Bell getting traded back to Pittsburgh.
Now they have a GM, so but let's also not insult the intelligence of the audience. Yes, the Jets have a GM, but it is well known that Adam Gase, even though he's a West Coast coach, doesn't want to pay running backs. Dude, if that would have happened, imagine how much worse it would have been. Like, the sad thing is, out of all this, Le'Veon Bell is going to get over 1,000 scrimmage yards by the time this season is over. Le'Veon Bell is a true all-purpose back. So we can kind of use the whole scrimmage yards out with him instead of the rushing. But it's just, dude, like, your quarterback is young. Your quarterback is not ready to carry a team. You have no receiving threats or receiving options. You have no defense except for a safety who's trying his damnedest. Like, that is the perfect situation where you run the damn ball until no end. I don't like you and you don't like me, but guess what? They paid you, so you're getting 400 carries this year. You sat out from Pittsburgh because you wanted to make sure you had some money. Guess what? You got your money. 500 carries. Have fun. If I'm going to go, bro, like, what are they right now? Like 3-9 right now? Let me see.
They are 4-8.
They're 4-8, bro. Okay, they're 4-8 in the AFC East, so let's be real. Dunzo. They're third in the AFC East. Dunzo. Done. The season's not going anywhere. I'm not getting my quarterback killed. They're 31st in rushing yards per game. They're only averaging 72.6 rushing yards per game. Le'Veon Bell is the only offensive weapon you have. You're 30th in passing yards. You're 30th in passing yards per game, 31st in rushing. You can't tell me that you have this revolutionary offense. You can't tell me that your offense has a West Coast base to it and you won't use your receiving running back and you want to put all the heat on your quarterback. Adam Gase is supposed to be an offensive coach to the core. His offense is garbage. It's terrible. It's sorry.
As a matter of fact, didn't they beat the brakes off of the Oakland Raiders the previous week?
Well, hell, now we got to chop that up to West Coast teams not being able to play on the East Coast. Like, if you actually look at a map of the NFL, it's actually kind of, like, jarring at first. Because you got Seattle all the way on the other corner of the country. You got the California teams, which are still a far bit away from Seattle. Then you go over to the east. It's Arizona. Go up a little bit, Denver. And then it's basically an East Coast league. So there's no way you can fix that, especially when Oakland goes out there and wins a damn London game. Like, there's nothing you could do but just say you're a pro football team, figure it out. Sleep different.
And then get drugged by Kansas City. And then Dallas, I hate to do this to you, I really do, but I got to go back to the AFC South because all of a sudden, guess who's second in the division?
No, don't hate to do it to me. Run the footage back. When you asked me in week 2, and I asked you why you're asking me this in week 2, why you're asking me this after the season's already started, because you forgot to do the division picks. Run the tape back. Who did I pick? And what's the reason I picked them for?
You picked Indy. No, you still went with Indy because I was going with Houston.
No, I picked Tennessee. Listen back to your own material. I picked Tennessee because they were the most complete team, because Indy was looking rough with Jacoby Brissett. I would not say this. Why would I double back and act like what? If I did not pick Tennessee at first, why would I double back and act like I knew Tennessee was going to be this good? Why do you think I hate Tennessee so much? They're playing 70s football and winning with Ryan and Tannehill.
I know this. You didn't pick Houston. I know that.
Listen back to your own stuff. Don't you have this stuff written down?
I don't think I wrote the picks down. Not the division picks.
Oh, well, you were off this year.
Yeah, hey, man. We did a lot of changes during this whole time.
But yeah, bro. So Ryan Tannehill, and isn't it ironic? Like Stephen Ross said, he wanted to do a full rebuild. He said that he was tired of going 500 and getting middle round picks. So I don't blame him. It's just, bro, like everybody knew when Ryan Tannehill went to Tennessee what that meant. Everybody knew what Tennessee was saying by getting Ryan Tannehill. And lo and behold, they go to Ryan Tannehill. It's almost like Ryan Tannehill was a franchise quarterback for a sorry franchise. It's wild.
And then Houston nutted off New England, as I mentioned earlier.
Bro, like
I said they weren't going 15-1.
You get a cookie. Because I was very surprised when I saw that final score. I was surprised in the way in which it happened as well.
Yeah, don't say the score because the score is misleading.
Yeah, I was surprised in the way in which it happened. It's one of those things where it's like.
Matter of fact, usually I don't take cookies, but I'm gonna throw an Ashwin in there. San Fran lost to Baltimore.
Oh, you get a Fig Newton for that because we know why you care for that. But I mean, it still didn't really help you in the long run when I think about it.
They played good. That was a damn good game.
Yeah, hey, if you would have told me Lamar Jackson passes for 105 yards, I would have said, oh, wow, the media must be toasting into him. Is it sustainable? Did this really happen? Will the Ravens really be able to win like this in the play? Oh, 100 rushing yards? Oh, well, that's different. Bad weather? Oh, well, that's different.
And still social about that they boops, which is like, oh, my God, this guy here.
It's crazy.
Rain, sleet, snow, you will get checked out your anger with messing with Lamar Jackson.
When you run the ball and throw to tight ends when it's time to pass, I know it seems archaic and outdated, but when you run the ball and throw to tight ends when it is time to pass, it is amazing what happens.
Sorry that this was a longer review of the week, but so much happened.
I mean, when you open up with one of the best coaches in the franchise fired in a season where he had no help, you gotta take it for what it is, man. Because the Thanksgiving games we thought it was gonna be super boring. We were like, New Orleans gonna blow out Atlanta, but it's the significance of how everything happened. It's Mitch Trubisky throwing for 300 plus yards. It's Matt Ryan getting stiff armed to the ground and basically the human embodiment of the Falcons season. It's the Bills and Josh Allen coming into form and being in the hunt for not just the wild card, but Darnell, the division.
They still got another date with New England.
And I mean, if New England can't get Sonny Michel, second round pick, hero of the Super Bowl, even though Julian Edelman won the MVP, like, bro, like, they can't get that running game going. It's going to be rough. Got to help that 42-year-old out, man. But, I understand why you were happy that the 49ers are now 10-2, but there's another team that was 10-2.
Mm-hmm. The funny thing is they actually helped my Rams. Who, by the way, is this destroyed Kyler Murray?
It's a poor guy.
In Arizona, by the way, in the desert. That's just I need to go back and look at this because I don't even think they got beat this bad this year.
I know you're a division. I know that's your division, and I can understand that. But serious question here: is playing in Arizona, is that really a home field advantage?
Yeah. Oh, like, yeah, that Arizona crowd, they come out.
Indoor stadiums help with that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's San Fran. Oh, San Fran had some trouble. That's why that game was. Matter of fact, both games was close. It didn't matter what they played at. Both of them games was close. Arizona gave San Fran all they can handle.
Here's the tricky thing, because you kind of sort of segued into it. And truth be told, besides picks, I mean, let's be honest, Darnell, we can do longer reviews now because a lot of team seasons are over. But is this when it happens? Oh, Xavier Rhodes got burned on a go. Oh, Dalvin Cook is banged up. Oh, Alan Thielen. Is this when it happens, Darnell? Is it that time of year where we start automatically trying to find the excuses so that we can make sense of it all?
Nah, because you know what, we both picked Seattle to win that game.
But we come on, man. We know why.
Not yet. Not yet.
But we know why we picked Seattle to win that game.
Yeah, we didn't trust Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins did his thing. To be honest, he did what he can do with the weapons that he had. It's just Wilson is that dude. I take that back. Chris Carson and Rashad Penny both ran for 100 yards each. So
when it comes down to the last 2 weeks of the season, when they start doing the playoff scenarios and the Vikings have to win out to get in, are they?
They do. They got to now because with that loss to Seattle, they messed around and opened the door for the Rams. They messed around and opened the door for the Rams all of a sudden. My team is still alive.
It might be that time of the year, man.
It could. We're gonna find out because they got Detroit. So if they lose to Detroit, boy.
And another bad thing about this, now correct me if I'm wrong, but no. Because the only team I heard of this week getting for sure eliminated mathematically is at New York. I didn't hear of any teams getting mathematically eliminated besides
no. That's the Giants.
Yeah, Kirk, you might want to. Yeah, because
I'm gonna tell you, because that's a good way to segue into the week. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? It's a long process. It's a hard, thought-out process. Yeah, I know. I was there. From March of this year, thinking about how I'm going to do this, doing all my research, trying to get everything right. What platforms can we use and how we going to record it and how we going to make it sound good and make it all this happen. And then I came upon Anchor. The Anchor app on my phone, the easiest choice I could ever make to do a podcast. It's free to use. You don't got to pay for nothing. You can record episodes whenever you're ready. You can edit it and then you can release them when you want to. And you don't have to worry about trying to figure out how you're going to distribute it on other platforms because Anchor has partnerships with Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Pocket Cast, whatever you name it. Because the Playmakers Ball podcast is the podcast that I use. We are on all them platforms. We are on 9 platforms just by using the Anchor app. So pretty much all the questions that you have questions about doing a podcast, go to the Anchor app or go to the Anchor website, anchor.fm.com, and just search through it, ask questions. Because I tell you, a free app that does all this, there's nothing more you can ask for. I even got friends, they doing their podcast on the Anchor app. Faith Talk, you might have heard of it because it's very good. And it's great that it's an app like this, it's a website like this that makes it easier for people to do podcasts and do what they love best, talking about the things that they love to talk about. So give Anchor a try, see how much you like it. We'll love to hear your podcast. Because this week, oh my gosh, what can happen in this week of 14 right here? First off, Thursday Night Football, we got the Cowboys and the Bears at Soldier Field.
Mitch Trubisky's playing like he has a contract due or something.
Dak Prescott do too.
You got 2 quarterbacks where you really don't know where they're going to be after this year. As much as Jerry Jones likes to spend his money, Dak Prescott's agent might have led him astray. Then in the Mitch Trubisky end, you don't make the playoffs, you're automatically picking 16th or better. So
both teams are 6-6. The funny thing is the Bears are third in their division. The Cowboys are leading their division.
The thing is, though, Minnesota's lost, because of divisional tiebreakers in the Bears case, but also the Bears have every reason to play balls to the walls and lights out. they have to win out or at least win 3 of the next 4. And then you're going against a team where, for whatever reason, here's what I don't understand, Darnell. Help me understand this, because this is confusing me. You paid La'el Collins, your right tackle, and you paid Ezekiel Elliott. But fast forward to week 14, and Dak Prescott is leading the NFL in passing yards, is in the focal point of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't beat teams with a winning record?
Yep.
Like, it's almost like, so the guy who you don't want to pay, the guy who's in a prove-it year with the head coach where it's Super Bowl or bust, you're not going to use the dudes that you just paid. You're going to put the team into the hands of a guy who we don't even know is going to be on the roster next year.
I believe that person going to be on the roster next year.
But how, and this is related. Trust me, Darnell, this is related. How is this his humble pie?
It's not. He's doing his thing.
Jerry Jones, okay, like, he's proven that he can get the numbers. He's proven he can get the yards. But if Dak Prescott doesn't win this game, if you go into the playoffs 8-8 or 7-9 and lose in the first round,
they lose. They lose in the first round.
Who is right?
They lose in the first round because it's going to either be Seattle or San Fran, whoever loses the division title. You got Minnesota, who already went to Jerry World and beat them. Matter of fact, they did it on Sunday Night Football, if I remember correctly. You got the Rams, who you playing with 15 in Jerry World. Matter of fact, they been there before and done it. I think it was 2 years ago. Who else is fighting? Chicago is fighting.
But no, that's my point. Like, why are you putting the team into the hands of a guy who, at the end of the day, is going to prove you right? Dak Prescott ain't going to get you a Super Bowl. And you just gave him an entire season to put up all the nice numbers. You just gave him an entire season with a number 1 receiver that says he wants to be in Dallas. You just got him a veteran tight end that knows the offense and knows what the hell to do in the middle of the field. And all that is some pretty numbers and getting bounced in the first round with a sorry record. Like, I feel like I have to pick the Bears because if Mitch Trubisky is figuring it out at the right time, the Cowboys refuse to use the formula that brings them success, how do you pick against the Bears?
Zeke Elliott, man. Zeke Elliott, he need to show up.
That's the thing. They're not running backs need a decent line. You're not always going to get a great 90s Cowboys line, but running backs need a decent line and somebody to hand them or toss them or pitch them the rock. When you're in a prove-it year and Jerry Jones just paid this running back $90 million and you're only averaging 18 touches a game, the hell are you doing, Kellen Moore? Stop calling plays like you're a guy who was just a backup quarterback, like you were a guy that was just in college. You have a $90 million running back out of everybody that had to be paid. He paid a right tackle, a running back, and a middle linebacker. Jerry Jones wants to play 90s football. Play 90s football. That's the team you have. At least with Mr. Trubisky, Matt Nagy is playing a spread offense. Some weeks, you wish he would just run the damn ball. Other weeks, like this past week, it makes sense. So if Mr. Trubisky's and the Bears, if they're going to put themselves in a position to succeed, if the Bears defense is going to show up and keep the team in the game like I know they will, you just lost to Josh Allen. I take Josh Allen over Mr. Trubisky right now, but you're not losing the top flight quarterbacks. You're losing to Sam Darnold. You're losing to Josh Allen. Who else? Because I know there's bad quarterbacks on this list right now.
Who are they lost to? New England. Tom Brady ain't Tom Brady no more.
He's 42. Yeah.
You drug Philly.
Yeah, and that's the kind of year they're having.
You swept the Giants. You beat Washington. Oh, you lost to Green Bay. Lost to Minnesota.
And Kirk Cousins, the jury's out on Kirk Cousins because this happens every year. The jury's still out.
You lost to New Orleans. Drew Brees wasn't playing.
Lost to Teddy. Almost lost his leg.
Oh my gosh. You know,
So
y'all cannot lose to Mr. Trubisky. There's no way Mr. Trubisky is finna repeat this performance he did. It's not happening. Y'all cannot lose to Mr. Trubisky. Matt Nagy's not gonna run the ball. I don't know why he ain't gonna run the ball. He ain't gonna run the ball, and he got two good running backs. He ain't gonna run the ball. So guess what?
I think even though we're talking about Mr. Trubisky, I think this is gonna be the game where he's been a factor. He's been drawing triple. He's been drawing tight ends. He's been drawing running back chips. Khalil Mack is gonna get numbers this game. I'm looking for a sack and a half because the Cowboys want to put the ball in Dak's hands. Tyron Smith is a little older. La'el Collins is still a right tackle. Like, Jason Witten, okay, that's cool. If you keep Jason Witten in the block, if you use whoever the backup tight end is who had a chance to be the tight end, then you had to bring Jason Witten out from the booth to block. Okay. If you want to waste Ezekiel Elliott or put Tony Pollard in there to block and try to cut block Khalil, okay. But if you're going to drop Dak back 45 plus times, okay. That is a run blocking offensive line. And Khalil Mack can wreck a game.
He ain't wreck a game yet, and that's what I'm afraid of.
Darnell, it baffles me because the Cowboys are a perennial 500 franchise. A lot of teams wish they could go 500 every year and be able to start getting frustrated, but they are literally 6-6. They are literally on pace.
So it's the Bears. You got the Rams, the Eagles at the end of the season, and I think you got the Redskins.
The problem is that's 2 division games. 2 division. So you go. So Aaron back to back. Tell me how Dante's looking. I mean, obviously you scheme more for Aaron Donald, but is Dante Fowler a factor?
He has his moments.
Okay, so
matter of fact, you hear Aaron Donald have his moments, Dante Fowler have his moments, Joseph Day has his moments, Michael Broncos has his moment, Clay Matthews has his moment. That is named by what, 5 defensive linemen?
Well, that's good because the thing is, if forget getting into the dance, if you guys want to make a run in the dance, you're gonna have to rush the passer. Because if you try to play just a balanced football, it ain't gonna work.
The funny thing is, it's the worst team that's actually keeping us in it. You can't run the ball on us.
Yeah, but
so now we know you got to pass that lead, Jalen Ramsey. He can do what he can do. When he stopped committing stupid penalties, he can do what he do. Taylor Rapp, thank you for that. We drafted him because this guy is where the ball is at. I don't even know how he be there, but he's always around the ball. If you watch a Rams game, you'll see a 24 in the vicinity somewhere.
Well, thank you for the confirmation of what I say almost every week. If you can stop the run, if you can establish the run, it doesn't matter if it's the Big 12 or the NFL, you usually win some games. So that's nice to hear. But with that being said, you might be looking at dropping 3 in a row. Khalil Mack's going to have a day because you want to drop back too much. You're probably going to go back to running the ball because you realize you dropped back too much. Stonewalled, still going to get sacked. In that Eagles game, I mean, because if they lose, yeah, because if the Cowboys were to lose, at that point they'd be 6-8. 6-8 going to the Eagles game.
No, they'd be going into the Washington game.
No, listen. They're 6-6 right now.
Yeah.
They lose to the Bears, lose to the Rams, they'd be 6-8 going into Philly.
No, they go to Washington 6-8. They got Washington before.
They got them close out against Philly again.
I think. No, you're right. You're right. They closing against Washington and they go to Philly week 16. 6-8 going to Philly. Because I know they got the Redskins and the Eagles left.
If they go into Philly 6-8, that basically guarantees a 7-9 team in the playoffs. Because I just feel like with a coach doing a job interview, with Dwayne Haskins figuring out one extra thing, with Jason Garrett just being Jason Garrett, I just feel like if the Cowboys were to walk in that Philly game 6-8, I think they win that Philly game, and they're probably going to screw the pooch against Washington.
All right. You ready for this, Dallas?
Yeah.
The Baltimore Ravens, 10-2, number one in the AFC, are going to Buffalo, who's 9-3, and looking to catch New England for the division.
Here's the thing. A guy on Twitter, I think it was Field Yates, I think he knew what he was doing in his tweet, but I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are not the same. You can almost say they're similar, but combined 1,407 rushing yards going into this game between both quarterbacks. I don't think Josh Allen is going to be able to do what he usually does against the Ravens defense. Lamar Jackson has proven he can do what he can do against good defenses. I'm not saying quarterbacks cancel out, but I mean, would you take Mark Ingram or Frank Gore right now?
It won't be Frank Gore. It'll be David Singletary.
That almost makes the question easier to answer.
And David Singletary doing his thing. Mark Ingram definitely doing his thing.
But the way Mark Ingram is playing this year with that physical offense, it's like he's back in Alabama.
The real question is, it will be the linebackers and the safeties against the tight ends of Baltimore.
Linebackers and the safeties, times one. Yeah, I'm taking those tight ends.
It's in Buffalo. It's gonna be snowing. Ooh, I might want to watch that game.
Well, this is the thing. The Baltimore Ravens are not running an Ohio State spread offense. This isn't an Urban Meyer spread offense. This is a Navy or Army spread offense. Like, them boys, it might be better for Baltimore than it is. Because Lamar Jackson mainly throws to tight ends and running backs.
Who ever thought picking a Buffalo game would be so damn tough?
I know. That's what happens when you build your team around defense. One of those years, it just clicks. But I don't think it's necessarily difficult.
The other thing is, because I know how you is with the NFL. Baltimore has won 8 in a row.
That's another tricky thing, because I mean, do you want to have a long streak going into the playoffs and get upset, or do you want to come back down to earth before it really matters?
Oh my gosh!
I think another thing we really do have to take into consideration is this is the first time in a very long time that the AFC East has been competitive. It doesn't feel like it's New England or bust as much as other years this time of year. So
I'm gonna be honest with you. I gotta pick Baltimore. Baltimore. Dallas, they have beaten Seattle in Seattle. They have beaten the Rams in Los Angeles, and they beat San Francisco last week. I gotta pick Baltimore. That's about what the best the NFC has to offer. You ought to be 3 of them. And one, you just smoked on Monday Night Football. You went to Seattle and beat Seattle.
That is all true. But I think that with that, when you're in the AFC East, resumes don't intimidate you. Because if you're not playing in Boston, you already know you're going to have to face one of the best teams in the NFL and be better than one of the best teams in the NFL to get that home game in the playoffs. I'm picking Buffalo because if they don't win this game, then you really can chalk it up for whenever Belichick and Brady retire. Because if this isn't the season that a team usurps New England, even if it's just for a week or two, if this isn't the season where a team other than New England is leading the AFC East, I don't think it's going to happen until Brady and Belichick retire.
So you switching to Buffalo?
I'm not switching. My pick is Buffalo.
Oh, good. It's not like you said Baltimore at first when you first started. San Francisco.
Positions is because it was a difficult pick.
Hey, we might switch them when we might switch them again. Who knows? That's too hard to pick. Another game hard to pick. San Francisco, they going to the Big Easy.
That's actually not hard.
Which is Sherman versus Michael Thomas.
Sherm's going to get burnt. But it's not that hard to pick because New Orleans is one of the best rushing defenses in the NFL. Again, Cam Jordan, it ain't pretty. It's brutal. He not only gets the job done, he demoralizes offensive tackles. Brother had 4 sacks. 4. Like,
what? We told y'all they were going to come back with vengeance against Atlanta.
Bro, like, the thing that makes that defense roll is the fact that you have a defensive end that is willing to play the style that Cam Jordan is willing to play. When you have defensive ends that play a run-stopping style on their way to the quarterback, it makes everything just it's more team-oriented. A lot of edge rushers like to get up the field and just make holes naturally. Cam Jordan just bullies people. He bullies people and collapses the line. With that, though, the 49ers formula has been run, play D, demoralize your offensive line. And then Jimmy Garoppolo is, the trigger man. Yeah, he's a quarterback, but this year he's been more of a trigger man. He's had some really good games. But at the same time, 2 of those games were against Arizona.
So, both of them close.
So you're telling me powerful defensive end, defense that knows how to stop the run, solid cornerback themselves. Talk about you're going to have Marshawn Lattimore against Deebo Samuel or Emmanuel Sanders. Either way, Eli Apple, God bless his soul, he'll get burned.
Oh, Lord. Eli Apple better step up in this game, boy.
He'll get burned by whoever number 2 is. But, I mean, Richard Sherman at this point in his career against Michael Thomas has been able to get his numbers whenever he's wanted to get his numbers. When it was Teddy Bridgewater and there was no one else to go to and there was nothing else to do, you look at the box score, Michael Thomas, 8 for 89. Michael Thomas, 6 for 70. He didn't have burner, oh my God, games. We think Michael Thomas is the one getting the key first downs and everything. Like, I don't, this actually isn't a hard pick. And it isn't because the 49ers look a little bit more human over the last month and a half. Look at this game on the schedule. Drew Brees healthy. Team for the most part healthy. Alvin Kamara a little bit nicked up, but then they got their running back, Latavius Murray. Now they got a power back to spell him. Just like they have Market.
Jared Cook at tight end.
Yep. They got a tight end. They got a number 1 wide receiver. Alvin Kamara is doing the best he can, but they got Latavius Murray to help him out. Drew Brees is still.
He's getting healthy. He's getting healthy.
Yeah, he's getting healthy. He's not there yet. Big picture, not this game. But, he's getting there. So it's actually not that hard to pick New Orleans when you think about it.
So, that's going to be a good one to watch. You know what? I'm going to watch both of them games. Both of them games are the 1 o'clock games to look at.
Oh, wow. That's a 1 o'clock game? Oh, geez.
Both games, the Buffalo and the Saints game is 1 o'clock.
Crazy.
Yeah, I y'all at the 4 o'clock time.
That's a market game. I might need to. Well.
Speaking of 4 o'clock, Dallas, I'm 2 for 2. Well, am I going for 3 or what? I'm picking New England because it's the week the Kansas City Chiefs take the trip to New England.
You picked Baltimore, right?
I picked Baltimore. I picked Houston.
Here's the difficult thing. It doesn't seem like it, but Houston's really trying to step up on defense, and we know what Baltimore is. The difficult thing is, okay, they play teams with franchise quarterbacks having MVP caliber seasons that also have solid defenses on the other end. Bro, that Kansas City defense is almost as heartbreaking as the Chargers as a team.
Not you, the Oakland Raiders.
Well, he's only in year 2, Darnell. He's got 8 more years to go to build that team. I mean, it's weird. Okay, you have Sony Michel, you have Isaiah Wynn back. Still got Shaq Mason. Your tight ends aren't stepping as wide receivers, so you might want to scheme one of them in as a fullback or something. I just feel like with the way Bill Belichick does, and with the fact that he doesn't rely on system, he relies on personnel. I think that Houston game basically showed, we're not going to be the pass-heavy Patriots this year. I don't know when we're going to get it in our head, but we need to figure out a way to get Sony Michel cooking. We got to figure out a way to get James White cooking so that he's more effective out the backfield when it's time to throw. I think that them needing to lean more in the running game with Tom Brady's age and their lack of receiving threats, I think the Kansas City Chiefs defense is actually one of the best defenses to get back on track with your running game with. Now, Pat Mahomes, I mean, here's the tricky thing. He's mobile, but he doesn't really like to run like that. So if you have the defensive line able to kind of like keep him in the pocket and keep him behind the line of scrimmage, might fare a little bit better. So I think whether it's the running game or I think whether it's them finally figuring out this year how to deal with a mobile quarterback, I just think New England like rebounds with this one. Because Kansas City isn't the Kansas City we thought they would be.
I mean, that's what happens when your quarterback gets injured.
And it's also what happens when you fire your defensive coordinator and the defense almost gets worse.
Do I pull the trigger for the third time? That is the question for me. Because I wasn't going to pull it against Dallas. I was going to pull it on Philly, but they had so many injuries, like they are not winning that game. So I had to wait for Houston.
The fact that at any point in this season you thought that the Eagles could have beaten New England was... Oof.
It was in Philly, so I'm like, okay, they might get one. And then they had all the injuries. I'm like, yeah, there's no way y'all winning that game. But the game was still close until Nelson Aguilar dropped the game-tying touchdown.
I still wouldn't have said that out loud.
Tom Brady has receivers who can get open. He has no reliable tight end. Sony Michel having a tough time running. The Chiefs got so many darn running backs, they can be anybody on any given day.
See, the Chiefs' offense is fine. That's a pretty entertaining matchup. The problem is this a rebound game for Sony Michel and that offense? Do they debut just a complete new scheme going into the playoffs on that defense?
Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes. Kelsey, Hill, Watkins, Robinson, Hartman, and then there's Bill Belichick.
I was about to say that Darnell is week 14. We know who the roster is. Like, come on. It's Bill Belichick. Just because the New England defense has trouble with mobile quarterbacks, and that's pretty much been their Achilles heel, doesn't mean that they're just about to get completely in pro. Like, this is the same New England Patriots who last year bullied the Chiefs in Arrowhead. I mean,
I'm gonna pull the trigger for a third time. 10-3 New England.
I mean, hey, so at least you know if for whatever reason somebody comments and says, "Well, why the hell would Dallas pick Buffalo over Baltimore?" Well, you think New England is going to turn around and be 10-3 when all this is said and done. So again, if it ain't this year, I don't think it's happening in the AFC.
I gotta do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna think about it. I might change my mind, but as of right now, I'm gonna pull that trigger for the third time. See if I can get 3-3. Sunday Night Football. My division. Matter of fact, my team. My Coliseum. Who's coming in? The other guy that's in the MVP race. That guy from up in Seattle. The Seahawks, led by Russell Wilson. So a win here by the Rams will give them 8 wins on the season. Seattle and San Fran are already at 10.
You got the spread?
No, I don't. The interesting thing about this is Minnesota is playing Detroit at home. What happens if Minnesota gets upset by Detroit?
Matt Patricia's coaching for his job, so that's not really out the realm of possibility.
And the Rams take down Seattle, which is very, very, very capable of doing.
Yeah. And with that, they'd still be 2 games behind, but we're talking about the wild card here. So I think it's going to be a shootout like last time. I definitely don't think that, Seattle's going to walk in and look like how a 10-2 team should look against a team that looks like they almost ruined the season by paying Goff and mortgaging the house for Ramsey. But I mean,
Seattle is a 1-point favorite right now.
That sounds about right. I'm thinking Seattle's going to win on like a field goal with like 30 seconds to go or something. But I mean, dude, Jared Goff is going to put up the numbers. Jared Goff is going to score the points. Darnell, the problem is, and you're a Rams fan, so I'm pretty sure I'm not telling you any new news. Jared Goff is his box score is going to look great. Todd Gurley will have a solid 60, 75 yards, might have 2 goal line touchdowns. The offense is going to look great in that box score. But, bro, like, all you're doing winning 8 or 9 games this season is making your second-round draft pick worse. Like, you never want to tell a team that has the talent that you guys have and is coming off an NFC championship and a Super Bowl berth, shut it down, blah, blah, blah. But, dude, like, something's going to happen. It's going to be that one pick. It's going to be that one fumble. It's going to be that 1 3-and-out. I just don't see how the Rams beat Seattle. And the crazy thing is, like, if Seattle was playing team ball, I would get it. But, dude, it's clear that Russell Wilson is the X factor. It is clear that Russell Wilson is the reason why that team wins. You're not getting a average pocket passer that didn't win anything in college on that Seahawks team, and that Seahawks team doing what they're doing. You switch Jared Goff and Russell Wilson, you switch the teams, the Rams are like the unabashed Super Bowl favorite right now. It's night and day.
We do not get swept by Seattle. We will split. We will come out victorious in this one. And one step closer to possibly catching a wild card spot. And proving me wrong.
Oh, how the tides change. All you're doing is making that second round pick worse.
We started the week with the NFC, and we gonna end with the NFC East. Because Dallas. Notice 2 teams we haven't talked about. And they are on Monday Night Football. At the Meadowlands, here comes Carson Wentz versus Daniel Jones.
I mean,
Philly, if y'all lose this game, it's gonna y'all look. Yeah, I'm just gonna look. Y'all better not lose to the Giants. Y'all better not lose to the Giants.
Saquon literally said he basically told the media to stop giving him the injury excuse. Saquon just knows, like, flat out, like, he's had the sophomore slump. When you pick a running back number 2, hey, look, man, like, I feel for Giants fans because, you didn't draft Daniel Jones to do what they've had to make him do this year. You drafted Daniel Jones to be the smooth signal caller that went and throw 25 picks a year and let Saquon do his thing. But with running backs, and it happens, New Orleans was able to avoid it because they had Mark Ingram, but it's not happening. It's not happening because usually you could at least say, maybe this is the game Saquon gets back on track. It's the division. But, dude, no, like, it's New York. The boys have had a long year. They're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Pat Shermer's probably getting fired. If the Eagles do not win this game, now you start asking about Doug Peterson's job. Because, again, like, we opened the show, not just big, like, when we opened the show with maybe the one coach where you legitimately look at his situation and say mulligan. Doug Peterson loses to the Giants. Doug Peterson misses the playoffs this year out of all years with the franchise quarterback, with the elite tight end, with the gotta start asking about jobs, man.
Yeah, y'all cannot lose to the Giants. For heaven's sake, Carson Wentz.
Dude, if Carson Wentz loses to the Giants and basically gives the Redskins a chance. Because, see, the Eagles got to beat the Cowboys for the Redskins to have a chance. But, dude, we don't even know if the Cowboys are going to win the next 2 weeks. We don't know how the hell that game is going to look in Week 17. So, bro, you can't. Ron Rivera cannot get fired with 4 games left to go. And coaches in the NFC East keep their job. We already lost one in John Gruden.
Jay Gruden.
Jay Gruden, my bad. John Gruden got fired from Tampa when they did the whole. We thought he was going to get fired when he traded away the house and the home. But yeah, Jay Gruden. So,
all right. So, surprisingly, my Rams are still alive. I could be wrong. They might be a playoff. They might be a playoff for LA. Might not be in LA, but it might be a playoff for LA. The NFC East is just. I don't have the words for it right now. Okay, I just don't. I don't know what the NFC East is right now.
Look, hey, you shut that noise up. As a Jaguars fan, I need somebody with a losing record to make the playoffs because I don't know the next time my team will have a winning one. So I just need to know if it's still mathematically possible to go 7-9 and get into the damn.
Matter of fact, has any team in the AFC ever went that low of a record and made the playoffs?
Yeah, because see, everybody wanted to jump on my tweet and mention the Seattle Seahawks or whatever. But yeah, the low.
That was in it. That was in my division when it happened.
Yeah, bro, and it's it's Twitter though, so I just let it go. But the 8-8 Chargers and the 8-8 Broncos, I think the Steelers might have no. The Steelers were 8-8 and missed out. You in the AFC, you gotta go 8-8. I think the Buffalo Bills that one season when they needed help, mind you, the one season where the Buffalo Bills needed help when they faced us in the wild card in 2017.
They went 8-8.
No, they went 9-7. They went 9-7 and needed help with
no, because they actually brought that up when they were showing the game against the Cowboys. It was 8-8.
Dang,
it was 8-8.
So yeah, so
either way, what AFC team has a losing record that made the playoffs?
You got to go back to maybe a strike-shortened season. No troll. You got to go back to a strike-shortened season to get an AFC team that got in with a losing record. In a full 16-game season, it's pretty much 8-8. 8-8 with a ton of help. We're talking scenarios to the bone. We're talking week 17. You need 5 teams to lose, and you got a win or tie.
Only in the NFC, this stuff happens. Only in my conference.
Yeah, I remember in another team that I'm surprised a lot of people didn't bring it up because people forgot how bad the NFC South was that one year. You had 7-8-1. It was hilarious. 7-8-1 Panthers hosted a game against Drew Stanton and the Arizona Cardinals. And it was clear that Drew Stanton was never going to play another game in the NFL ever again.
I remember that damn year. That's the Seattle. That's Seattle went to the Super Bowl. I think they won it that year.
Yeah, they blew the hell out of Carolina the next week. So, yeah, man, it's usually in the NFC where we're actually on pace. I'm thinking the Cowboys going to be 6-8. We're hoping to God that the Eagles are 7-6 after this week. So we're on pace. It's at least going to be 500. There is no way the Eagles are going to finish this thing 10-6.
It's terrible. This division here.
Do you know what the sad thing is though? This division is trash. But there still is a wide open opportunity for Dallas to finish with a double-digit record.
That's how talented the Cowboys are.
And that's why it's so weird that the division is still if the Cowboys finish 10-6 and host,
that means they would have won out.
Yeah, if the Dallas Cowboys finish 10-6, host that playoff game, going into that playoff game, nobody is going to pick the wild card team. Because at 10-6, they'll probably be, they might still be the 4th seed. So that means they'll be hosting, oh, no, never mind. Let me shut my ass up because that means they would either be facing New Orleans, Seattle, or the 49ers. Oh. Well, no, they wouldn't be facing New Orleans, but it's Seattle or the 49ers. Or God forbid, if all hell broke loose, the Rams. So, yeah, bro. I don't know if I want to go that far, but yeah, like so far. Not
NFC West team, maybe you know how Dallas feels against NFC West teams.
Nobody circles that wagon.
So, oof. So you thought us talking about Ron Rivera getting fired, that was just surprising. But we got a lot more coaches to talk about in college football. Well, we had three got fired and one stepped down out of nowhere.
Yeah, but like real quick, I wanted to mention this because we mentioned Jay Gruden and I had to troll, but I couldn't really troll because I felt bad because it's a pro football podcast. Damn, bro, AFL's done again. That really sucks, bro. Especially going into the XFL and everybody trying to like fake care about the XFL because this was a man, and we don't know how much it'll crash and burn, and if it'll crash and burn in the middle of the TV episode like it did with the AAF. But shout out to the AFL, good old college try. I say all this and bring this up because I know you're confused on the other end. I don't know where Jay Gruden and Jim Harbaugh will be employed come January 27th, 2020, because it ain't gonna be for Michigan and it already ain't for Washington Redskins.
Yeah, we're gonna get into Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. Jim Harbaugh made history. Good for Jim Harbaugh. He made history. We're going to talk about the college football playoff rankings because these are the most important rankings because we are in championship weekend. All 10 championships will be discussed and picked. Oh, and by the way, we're going to go ahead and talk about, we might talk about Army Navy a week ahead. I'll think about it.
Yeah, it technically is group of 5. It has ramifications for the rankings. We might as well. I could whip up a 45-minute troll, but I don't know. Don't feel like getting shot.
Well, I'll think about it, but we'll see how championship weekend goes and who's and what. And what, matter of fact, I take that back. We're gonna save that because we're gonna find out who's in the bowl games on Sunday and who's playing where.
Also, well, I have an idea, but we'll talk about that off air.
He has an idea. We got college football to talk about. And wrestling fans, hey, hold your horses. We'll be back the week after because we got TLC.
He's saying it the nice way. I'm telling you, hey, look. We say it every year. We said it last year, and we forced ourselves to go through what is the TLC push on the road to January, and we are grown men. I am married now. I have a business. We're not doing it to ourselves this year. We will figure it out. But just be patient.
Just be TLC stuff.
That's really all we have to say about that.
So for the rest of you football fans, we'll talk to y'all on tomorrow. We're talking college football. Basketball fans, I just did a college basketball episode. You better listen to it. I got into my Florida Gators because I'm not liking what I'm saying. I don't care what the record says. I don't like what I'm saying. I see a one and done team right now. So Mike White better get it together soon. Other than that, any last words, Dallas? No. All right. Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, all that, including iHeartRadio. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow.